This video introduces the literature review and the literature search. Literature typically refers to scientific articles, that is, previous research on a specific subject, published in scientific journals. Popular science, such as newspaper articles, should be distinguished from this. The examination of literature is an essential part of any research project. The literature review has different objectives. One of these aims is, for example, to identify findings and theories that are important in the context of one's own research. Furthermore, the literature review should show the relationship between previous studies and theories. A further aim of the literature review is to identify information that is already available in a research area. The critical examination of this already existing information then leads, in the best case, to the identification of a research gap, a gap in the literature. And this research gap can then, in turn, lead to a specific research question. A further aim of the literature review is typically to provide a context for one's research. This context often defines the core contribution of the research. Other goals include the identification of important methods, be it statistical methods or experimental designs, for example, the discovery of significant work that can be conceptually followed, and also the identification of other people, of researchers working in the field, either as potential co-authors for you as a researcher, or because these researchers may also be potential reviewers of your research. At the beginning of every literature review is the search for literature. The literature search is an iterative process that is repeated again and again at various points. A first step is to narrow down the research topic. This means that the topic identification must already be advanced to a certain degree. On the basis of this topic, a number of relevant keywords can then be derived. These keywords then guide the search on online platforms such as Google Scholar. And in the lecture, we will take a closer look at these platforms. After the search, the result must be checked. That means it has to be verified that the keywords used actually lead to the desired results. Only in the last step, the literature will be analyzed and evaluated in detail. That is, the scientific articles will be read. As mentioned at the beginning, this process is not final, but iterative. It is quite plausible that when checking the results of the search, one always comes back to the choice of keywords, improves them, refines them, and finds potential synonyms. And so the literature search can be repeated again and again, not only at the beginning of a research project when the topic is being defined, but also during the writing process. Since research projects often take months, if not years, it is essential that you document your literature search well. This means the choice of keywords, but also the actual analysis. For example, you can create an Excel file for this purpose, which summarizes the literature across different dimensions. Finally, we come to the structure of a literature review in your research. Every major part of a research paper has an introduction, a main part, and a conclusion or summary. And this also applies to the literature review. If you bring together different streams of literature in your work, that is, different research disciplines, it may make sense to work through these streams of literature separately at first. This means that you give an overview of the respective literature stream before you finally combine them. The combination of the different streams of literature then, at least in quantitative research, typically leads to a series of hypotheses.